Kaji fam, this guy's Little Train 1090. So today for a brand new review. And today, we're taking it back to Yuji Sakai. It's been a while since I've gotten a chance to talk about Yuji Sakai figure, honestly. So today, we're talking about the X Plus from the Yuji Sakai modeling line. The 2016 Godzilla, aka Shin Godzilla. Now, it's definitely a figure in the making for a very long time for me to get. When I first started collecting X Plus figures, I was not a big fan of Shin Godzilla at the time. And ironically, I started collecting in 2017. So when Shin Godzilla came out and I started collecting, we got the gigantic, we got this, the 25 centimeter. We got so many Shin Godzillas during that time being. And I was just like, I'm not a huge fan of Shin at the time. I've definitely changed my tune on that, most definitely, especially with the gigantic Shin. And I finally had to get the 30 centimeter one. Got it for a great price because Lord knows this figure was going for a lot in the aftermarket. But I found it on eBay for a pretty good price. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. Let's go for it. And I'm happy to say I finally own this figure. So before we get into the figure, we can get into the box real quick. Of course, you'll see the beautiful color silhouette of Godzilla, this big charcoal mother effer right here. Of course, this is the Ric edition as well. Definitely wasn't going to settle for the standard. If I was ever going to get this guy, it was going to be the Ric. So, of course, we have the red background, guys, the silhouette of Godzilla on the back and on the front. And, of course, like I mentioned, it is the Ric edition with the little fancy sticker. But you know what? I know we ain't here to talk about that box. We ain't here to talk about no boxes. We're here to talk about the actual figure. So let me pull up the camera a little bit closer, and I'll give you a close look and personal look at the Yuji Sakai 30 centimeter Shin Godzilla from X Plus. Thank you. And here he is, the 30 centimeter Yuji Sakai Shin Godzilla, the Ric edition. And man, oh man, this thing is grotesque, just like Shin Godzilla should be. This thing is gnarly. Of course, we got Shin Godzilla little beady eyes, all the crazy sharp teeth around his mouth, again, as only this Shin Godzilla can do. I mean, granted, it does look good on the gigantic also, but the details and the teeth on this figure is just night and day. It's ridiculous. Of course, we move down. As I mentioned, this is the Ric Boy version, which is why it has a little bit of glow to it, since it does have that red translucent all across the body, just like the gigantic does. Again, I think it looks absolutely incredible. Some people might like it for a light up, and I'm not mad at them for that for sure. But to me, this clear translucent vinyl is incredible. It definitely makes the red pop amongst all the burnt charcoal gray that we have with this Godzilla. Even though at the legs, as you see, as the light shines through it, it pops. It really does pop. It's ridiculous. Same thing with the dorsal plates. Dorsal plates are kind of pop, has that pop of red on there as well, due to that clear vinyl. Of course, this Shin Godzilla has a massive tail. Granted, the gigantic does as well. As far as 30 centimeter figures go, this has probably one of the bigger tails out of all of them. Besides, maybe one or two. And of course, we got to get a close up at the tip of the tail also. It doesn't really show it as like it's opening or anything like that, like the little Godzilla is about to come out of it. But there's a pretty nice details to it. I'm not mad about it. And of course, we'll do some size comparisons with all the other Yuji Sakai figures in my collection. Well, not all of them, but a couple. So you can get a good, nice comparison with Shin Godzilla with some of the other ones in my collection. And of course, first we have the 1984 Godzilla, which of course y'all know, one of my favorite, if not my absolute favorite Yuji Sakai figure, which this thing looks phenomenal. It's been a while since I had a really good look at him, and my God, he's just perfection. But Shin Godzilla is not walking the park either. He honestly does look like he just came out of the film, as if he was just walking into Tokyo. In so many different scenes, this thing does look phenomenal. And then he actually does have a little bit of height over the 1984 Godzilla, which at the time was a little bit of a bigger Sakai actually. With Shin Godzilla, and like I even mentioned with the tail too, with Shin Godzilla's tail, it's one of the longer ones in the Sakai line, but the 84 has a really long tail also, actually. So, I mean, it's pretty awesome to be able to see these two side by side, two different versions of Godzilla from the Reroll era and the Heisei era. Which, since we're sticking to the Heisei era now, this is the Yuji Sakai 1991 Godzilla version 3. I forgot what the city's name for it, so I'm not going to try. But as you see, both of these figures look incredible together as well. You can really see in Yuji Sakai sculpting how much details goes into sculpting these figures. They look so phenomenal. So two completely different Godzillas, but two very, very, very well sculpted, good looking Godzillas at that as well. Both of these Godzillas look both of these versions of Godzilla do look perfect next to each other. Both of them are pretty very extremely screen accurate. And like I said, with Yuji Sakai, you can't ask for anything less because he's one of the masters of these scopes. And I guess it's enough Heisei. So now we got to definitely look at Shin Godzilla's predecessor, I guess. The newest version of Godzilla, Godzilla -1 or minus Goji, Nega Goji, however you want to name it. But this is, of course, 2016 Godzilla with 2023 Godzilla. And man, oh man, the difference between the versions of Godzilla we got in these two films is phenomenal. And I know a lot of people aren't Shin Godzilla fans. I honestly love Shin Godzilla. So being able to see the latest two versions of Japanese Godzilla next to each other looks phenomenal. And my God, you get to see the difference of what Toho was going for with these two different versions of Godzilla. And of course, with X Plus, both of these do have the clear translucent to it. With -1, this has those beautiful blue dorsal plates that are translucent, and Shin Godzilla is just popping on his own. But all right, that's all I got for these two guys. I'll go and wrap up this review right now. Thank you. And we're back. And that's my review on the Yuji Sakai 30cm Shin Godzilla Ric edition. Again, I really didn't think I was ever going to be able to get this guy because it got so expensive in the aftermarket after the Shin boom that we had back in 2017, 2018. But I am really happy and grateful that I was able to get this figure in my collection. Shin Godzilla, I want to say it's one of my favorite movies, but it may linger around the top 10-ish. Same thing with the suit design. No, I'm top 10 for the suit. Probably like 11, 15 for the suit itself. But just the uniqueness of this version of Godzilla really is what really caught my eye. This Godzilla is grotesque. This Godzilla moves slowly. He really doesn't do much to the movie until he releases his atomic breath. And then, of course, when he flips that bridge over. But I mean, this is a version Godzilla that exists, as Samson would say. But it's a version Godzilla that I like and that I'm happy with that exists. And of course, it's with the X Plus figure itself. Like I mentioned before, I definitely had to go Ric because with the translucentness of my gigantic that I have that's sitting right to the left of me, I had to get translucent with this as well. I know they just recently came out with the light up version. I'm not keen on light ups. I haven't been for a long time, so I definitely was gonna get that version of it. But at the same time, I definitely am glad that I do have this version of Shin Godzilla because I was not gonna settle for the standard or the light up, or I think there's even a black and white version too. No, it had to be the Ric. And as I mentioned earlier, thankfully I got a really good price for it. So I really am happy that I got this in my collection. But that's all I got for this review, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. Of course, you check us out. Check me out here on my YouTube channel. If you not subscribed, please like, share, and subscribe. Same thing with my Instagram for Godzilla Train 1090 if you want to see some photography. I know I've been slacking lately, but I promise you I am about to ramp back up my photography this year. I'm really excited to do some more experimenting and trying to make my photos look unique in a sense. Because at the end of the day, I just want to contribute to the community any way I can, and I really do enjoy photography. So I will continue to contribute that way. But until next time, I hope you have a fantastic night, Kaiju family.